All right, guys, welcome to the call. So excited to have you here. I'm even more excited to hear from this amazing woman. Her name is Amanda Odell, and she is like the busiest person I know. she always pulls through, and she always gets things done. And when she says she's going to do something, she does it. And she's a real goal getter, and she always has led her business through honesty and transparency, and that is why she's been here, and that's why she's been able to create a business with this, and she's still growing and she's still learning, just like all of us. But she's going to tell us a little bit of how she talks to her market and how she presents herself on Facebook to give them a taste of her real world. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Amanda.
Okay, I just want to give a little preview. So I started back in July, and I was super excited because I used the programs. I knew they worked, and I kind of been watching Brittany. I think she just did one of the random friend requests, and just like it's supposed to work, I followed her and I think I messaged her and was like, I'm totally in, let's do this. So I kind of went at it full force, did my coming out post, and I had so much, I guess, feedback from that, and so much like people were inspired that I was doing that. Did really great. And then I don't know, like emotionally, I was like breaking down, really struggling with anxiety, and I just dropped off the face of Facebook earth for a while. But I actually found out that when I posted publicly about my anxiety disorder that I struggle with still, that so many people do as well. And I actually got a lot of feedback, like messages privately about people struggling with the same exact thing. And not that I never used that, I never used that as a way for me to get any quote unquote clients, because I want people to realize that I want to talk to them because I actually care about what they're going through. So that's one thing that I've learned, is that I don't have conversations with people based around Beachbody products. I have conversations with people based around their actual physical health and wellness. So that's one thing that I always, I stress to people is, they're like, oh, well, I just started this walking routine, or you need to just congratulate them on any effort they make to start moving and changing their physical health, their mental health. I found that to be the most important. I have ongoing conversations, no kidding, for like 5 months now with people, just talking about anything, their families, their health, their wellness and whatnot. So that's actually been really instrumental for me as a person, just to get to know other people. I've been connecting with a lot of people, so it's kind of a new thing for me. But some of the stuff that I wrote down that I've been, finding, along the way. I'm not perfect with it all, but I do it. So step 1 is true customer engagement, building social media dialogue. This goes with the 3 to 5 times a day posting. I'm not always consistent with this based upon, just my life. Some days I'm on my phone all day long and have like 9 posts. Some days I'm on my phone twice a day and I just post whatever. But I do know I found a secret, because Brittany told me, was to make sure, like those silly Facebook posts, like videos and stuff, that maybe you just want to watch them later. I constantly post those because I want to watch them, but I'm not sitting on my phone for long periods of time. So you can actually just post them to the Only Me section on Facebook. Something I just didn't know about, because if your Facebook feed is constantly only showing those, they're bypassing like those crucial, valuable posts. So that's one thing that I found for me that I was doing wrong. The one thing I also just started was a posting calendar. Things like, I think it might be in a team document. Somebody might be able to correct me if I'm wrong. Just like, writing like 3 valuable posts that you're going to do a day throughout your calendar. I'm only doing it week by week. So like posting once a funny story about my children, once about like my shake a day, or something fitness wise, and maybe something about my cat or something. I don't know. But that kind of keeps you accountable, gives you kind of like an outline of what you could post about if you're kind of struggling with what to post, because sometimes I'm trying to like dig deep and find what I'm supposed to post when I'm at a loss for words. And then I think that Brittany spoke about this before, was eliminate Facebook as like a fun zone, and since you're using social media as your business, to kind of eliminate the random news feed, like scrolling, because I do that a lot, and it really is a waster of time. The next thing is, I'm sorry, it's very hard to figure out a place to, well, I'm not bouncing around in a car. People are using social media now as a search engine tool. So instead of using Google and typing in health and fitness, they're more or less using Instagram and Facebook and Twitter as their kind of their guidelines as to any like health and fitness. So, we want to push people to say, like, this is such an awesome product that it works. We're all people that are showing you, we have a passion for it. They're going to come to you to see that without having to type in Google and get, whatever random sponsored Google ad that's out there. So that was one thing that I've been looking at. There's a lot of stuff going on about automatically being added to Facebook groups. This is all over the place. My newsfeed included. People really care about that. I personally don't care, but I guess on like principle, people don't want to be added, and I guess it's not adding value to the service that they're offering. So that's one thing. We want to make sure that we're providing value, and by randomly adding people to groups, and this is even your free health and fitness groups, you don't want to be adding to them. I am starting I haven't done it yet, and I don't know if I'll get to it this week, but I'm starting a 21-day free group that I want to start doing on my like page. But I'm not going to just go ahead and add every one of the people, because I would never do that. It doesn't bother me that people do it, but it is kind of rude to allow people to do that. Plus, it's not gaining trust with the people that you're trying to reach out to. So we want to put value out in our posts. The value in our posts are designed to teach people things. They're allowed to entertain people. So if you have any funny stories about your kids, the more likes and comments and feedback that you're getting on each post, the more people are going to see your posts in their newsfeed daily, which is what you want. Now, to me, the most vital thing is transparency. Like I said, when I came out about my anxiety that I've been dealing with, and how debilitating to my life it is, that was me being transparent, because the struggle is you're promoting health and wellness, but you're dealing with something that is kind of debilitating, taking me off my game, I guess, with health and wellness. But the thing is, people actually thrive off of other people's failures. They want to learn from those failures. So, people don't love to see perfection, because then they're, negatively looking at that person, which is really sad. But it is the truth that people kind of look at people for their failures, and they follow through, and they want to see that how people are kind of like how they're getting up off the floor and what they're doing next. I know a lot of people, when they put their coming out post, people are actually waiting for them to be like, oh, it's such a joke. They're going to be off in 3 months. They're going to be done. And it proves that, you know, if you keep going, that you're kind of, I'm out of lost words, but like, you know where I'm going with this. If you keep going, that you're kind of proving that it's a real thing. It's something that you strongly believe in, and that even though you might fall a few times, you're still getting up and you're still making efforts to be a better person, to be a better you, to be a better parent, whatever your personal goals are. The next thing is quick and responsive communication. This is the one area that I used to be really terrible at it, but I'm actually really quick with conversation now, because I've had some people who didn't want it in the first place, because they were like, oh, sorry, you didn't get back to me quick enough, which really surprised me. But it kind of got me off my butt and was like, all right, people really want this. So when I start doing my power hour, I need to be able to respond to these people. And if I don't have a chance, don't ignore their messages back, but kind of comment back like, hey, I am just in the middle of feeding my kids, or bath time, or working, or whatever the case may be. Just so you have that engagement. And so they're understanding that, you know, you're not pushing them aside, but you're just putting them on hold temporarily because you have your main life goals, you know, that you have to be available for at that time. The other thing is that I just started doing that I found to be pretty effective is, instead of doing the constant messaging on Facebook, is first things first is ask for a phone call. It's a lot of information, and when people are putting out $140 to $180, they want to know everything. And that's awesome, actually, that they want to know everything, that, you know, they want to know where their money goes. They want to know it is an investment in your health. So I found that actually having the one-on-one conversation is much quicker via phone call. And the other thing that I'm seeing is people keep apologizing that they can't afford the program. And I hate that. I hate that they apologize, or that they feel like they have to apologize for something that they can't afford. Whether they're lying to me or not, it's still really important that they realize that you want them to do anything that they can for themselves. I have a lot of people that say they have no exercise program, they do nothing, but they can't afford it. Well, you can still give them. All of us don't do solely Beachbody products. You can still give them ways. Be like, you know, you can start walking. Just message me back and forth. We can do this once a week together. I kind of offer my services that way to kind of keep that open communication. If they're local, I've asked people, once the weather starts getting nice, to go for some walks outside, because we want people to be healthy. So that was another thing. And then another one was that I'm not always prepared for is be prepared for customer complaints. I have quite a few key, we don't trust Shakeology products or any product that comes in a powder form. And I've had a few people kind of arrogantly come back at me for that. And I'm oftentimes not prepared for that, because I'm a pretty positive person, or I try to be, and I try and spin it and use I understand how you feel kind of tactic, but I think that those people are really tough. So that's one thing that I am learning to do anyway. My next thing is ensure accountability. If you offer a promotion or a free product or something, make sure that you follow up with every single person that posts under you. And if you really want to, you can send a message to the people that liked your post, just kind of saying, hey, thanks for liking my post. I really appreciate the support. Something simple one-liner is really helpful, and I've actually gotten a lot of open conversations from that. So it's just a different avenue. It's people that you didn't think are looking at you, they are, and they just might not be ready to post under it. So putting that, them liking or now loving or saying wow or whatever they're doing, that is an option for you to just go ahead and be like, hey, thanks for liking my post. And you can open like a full dialogue from there and see, where their health and fitness is, and go about, seeing how their family is. And, if you don't really know them, see what your connection is when you have like 10 friends in common, see what your connection is. Sorry, my hand is hurting from having to hold it up. And then fun and simple engagements. I've actually had a few, I don't know if anybody gets comments, and maybe they're just because they're my personal friends, that they're like, Amanda, your post was really long, you need to shorten it. I got bored after the first paragraph. I don't often do that, but so sometimes, and like my sister always yells at me for my selfies that I take. So the one thing my sister said that she notices I get a lot of likes on are funny stories about my children, and positive affirmations, like health and wellness. And those are things I think people relate to. Like if you're having a struggle with something, say you're having a really bad day, kind of taking it like using a quick one-liner about your bad day, and then the last line saying how you're going to turn it around. Not only does that help you, kind of putting it out there for accountability purposes, but it kind of shows other people out there, like, what, I'm having a really bad day too. Let me follow Amanda's advice. Let me follow Brittany's advice and do this, that, or the other thing. If she can do it, I can do it. Because that's really a lot of what people are saying is, if she can do it, I can do it. So that's one thing. From what I was reading something about this, and this is actually considered content marketing. So everything you put online, you're marketing yourself by your content that you put in your posts. And this all goes back to what Brittany always talks about, is valuable posting. You kind of need to be accountable just for what you post. If you want anything in be a successful business, you need to have some sort of accountability to yourself on what you post. You want to be honest. So if you're actually not working out that day, do not post that you work a day for A, B, and C, because other people are going to relate to the fact that they didn't work out 21 days in a row. They're still going to be really proud of you because tomorrow you're going to work out, and they're also going to be proud of the people that did it, that were able to go through 21 days or 60 days or whatever the program that you're on. They're going to be proud of you either way, and you're not failing anybody. That's the one thing is I feel like I fail a lot, and I need to kind of take that word out of my vocabulary completely, because you're not failing ever at all. Every day you wake up and you try something new, you jump back on the bandwagon, you fall off and you get back on, and same process happens over and over and over again, because it happens for me often. You always have the next day or the next meal or whatever to start all over again. And people out there watching you, that's exactly what they want to see. They want to see the deep, dark, dirty secrets, and how you lighten and brighten and make everything positive. Positivity really takes you far, I think, in life completely. I think it's the best way to hold on to relationships in your life. And I'm not a very faithful person as far as, religion goes, but there's a lot of reasons why people follow some sort of religious path, and it's because it keeps them positive and it keeps them accountable to something or someone bigger than them. So I see a lot of Beachbody coaches who have a really strong religious space, and they comment so much about it and they get a ton of feedback. And that's one things that I suggest is you follow a reputable Beachbody coaches, or not even, but you look at coaches that are using, or people who are using social media as a business forum. Look at the posts that they're putting, the value that they're putting, and kind of compare how can you do that and make that relatable for you, and see if it works to your market. So I think that's about all I have. But I just want to say, because I'm having days that I'm ready to give up lately, but don't do it. Just wake up the next day and figure out how you're going to start all over again. And just remember to be honest with everybody, be honest with yourself, most importantly, about what you want to get out of this, and be honest about everything that you talk about with your coaches. Your coaches and the people that you want to connect with, because they will really appreciate it. And I have one coach, or a discount coach right now, that talks with me every other day, and it's honestly, she's inspiring me to keep going, as I've talked with her about a lot of personal things that I've gone through, and she's keeps inspiring me. So I just want to thank everybody for listening, and sorry if I've had a lot of problems in the background.
Thank you so much, Amanda. That was fantastic. That really, truly was. Can you hear me all right? You guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, really? I got so much from that. Truly, thank you. I wanted to kind of piggyback off of some of that, because I know you mentioned like that people thrive from other people's failures, and that is so true. And that's why it's so important for us to be that positive impact in people's lives, and be that, so that people come back to our page and see, okay, she's not just, all negative or anything like that. And it's important for people to see that there is positive, because there's so much negative on Facebook. I think I said it before. There was a girl from who I went to high school with. She posted one day on her Facebook saying, I knew I should have listened to everyone when they told me not to marry him. And I will tell you, I looked at her page like 10 times a day for the next 5 days to see what was going on with her and her husband. Like, I wanted to know, because I'm nosy. You know what I mean? Like, not that I wanted to see her failures, but I wanted to see what happened. And that's the thing. Like, people are coming back to see your page, coming back to see your transformation, coming back to see if you are all talk. So it is very important to follow through and to continue to show people what you're doing. Another thing that I really loved about what you said was about the phone call. Some people might think that is time consuming. In my opinion, I've signed probably 3 coaches in the last 2 weeks just from a straight up phone call. Like, literally, I sent them, I think they asked me a question. I had them fill out a form, and I read over their form. And because I use Woofu forms, I read over the form, and knowing that, number 1, they took the time to fill out the form, and number 2, they were interested, I said, okay, do you have time tomorrow for a phone call? And those phone calls are probably like 15 to 20 minutes at most, depending on their their real interest. And I basically go over everything and then ask them what questions they have. So I think that a phone call is excellent. I wouldn't go overboard on timing. We are all, I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're wasting time. And anything that you do is helping someone. Obviously, they want help. But I think a phone call is really important too. It connects people with your voice, shows you're a real person, and it's like I said, that connection. So I love that you've been doing that. Do you feel that you're getting a return on that?
I feel like I'm getting an emotional return, but not so much financial one yet. But like you said, it's still it's a building relationship thing, and a lot of it is the money. I have a list. I'm not even kidding, a list of 20 people who are interested right now, but they can't afford it. And, about half of them I personally know struggle daily with finances. They post about money a lot on Facebook. So, I get it. Sometimes they're choosing. My one friend from high school was choosing. She's like, I chose to put new bedroom doors on my kid's bedroom. I was like, all right, like I can't fault you for that. That's like you have to decide where you feel is important to put your money. So, but I do feel like the phone calls are completely worth it. You'll probably, in my opinion, you're probably only going to get about a tenth of the people that you connect with wanting to talk on the phone.
Right. Exactly. But the people who want to talk on the phone are those who are a little bit more committed.
Yes, I do agree with that.
So it does kind of weed out the people, because I for sure sent out a ton of applications to people who asked about it. And like I said, I only got a handful back. And then, the people that I have the phone calls with, it's either they're interested and they don't have the money, or they're interested and they give it a go, So I think that's a great idea. And not saying to take all of your time to do that, but, keep it simple. Know where you want the phone call to go. You're talking about them, and like it should be more about like, okay, what do you want from this? And then, okay, here is what this all entails. And then it's questions. Sorry, I'm trying to, sorry. One other thing that you did say was how people, the people that don't have the money, how you would message them and say, well, go for a walk, and then you can always message me, that kind of thing. That is great. I love that you're building the relationship. Use the 30-day free trial of Beachbody On Demand. Use that, because you know what? The people who really want it will do it, and the people who don't won't. And it's free. I mean, if you're not willing to do it for free, then sign up for free for something, then you're not really willing to do this probably, or you're not really ready and you're just giving me excuses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess the one reason, I'll justify this in two ways why I don't. The one reason is I feel like for them, the next is, well, I'm on automatic payments then. After the 30-day free trial, they're on automatic payments. I get this thing all the time. And they don't want to continue. They don't want that. And it also feels like when I'm going to that next step, then it comes off, for me anyway, is as a pushy dialogue, because it seems like, well, why didn't you offer me free in the first place when I'm offering you $140 to $180 product? So that's one reason I usually hold off. And then the second one, you correct me on this, because I think I'm wrong, and this might be just a selfish thing, is don't you lose them as a new customer then?
I don't think you do.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you still get like Success Club points and all of that, right? Does anyone know that? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure you still get Success Club points, number one. Number two, you're giving them 30 days worth of something just to give them like a preview. And you could always do it as this, like a few days later, say, hey, I totally forgot. Like, I want to offer you this free 30-day thing, since you're on, and this will give you time to save up the money so you can do the Shakeology with me and the 30-day support group. So then they have the containers, and they have the meal plan, and they have all of that. Because, I mean, after 30 days, you're going to have to either pay for it or you cancel it. And what I do is when I send them the email for Beachbody On Demand for the free trial, it actually says, here's how you cancel it when you're done. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't want to continue. But I always I like to, because I always forget, about the free 30 days. And we're always all about like Success Club points. And we got to remember for sure that exactly what you're saying, that these are people, and not everyone has the money, and we need to build those relationships. I love that you're saying that. But you want to get them hooked on Beachbody products. I mean, on the videos. I mean, how awesome is 21 Day Fix? How great is, well, I think P90X is, I don't want to even talk about P90X, but I mean, like, all the other programs that we have are so amazing. Like these people don't know until they try. So I think it's a really great tool to use. And I don't think it's salesy personally. because you're offering them something. The 140 is more for, you know, the Shakeology and the full workout program and the works, basically. This is like, here's a taste of it until you get, like, so you can save up the money over the month to get into there, to do the challenge pack. Make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's something to definitely consider, guys. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Amanda or anything they wanted to talk about? We're good. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much again.
Good job, Amanda. Good job.
That was
Thank you.
I'm probably going to go back to faceless team calls, though.
You always.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Guys, the link will be up shortly, okay?
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.